So in every situation, you have two choices. You can react with the Lord's Spirit or with your spirit, which is a spirit of selfishness. Hello and welcome to this video. This is just going to be a heart-to-heart kind of stuff that I'm going through, stuff that I want to encourage you in your walk of faith. If you are a wife, a mother, a homemaker of any type, this video is for you. I believe that a lot of women are feeling this right now, but this is my first video back on YouTube after a few weeks of a break that I took. I have just been going through kind of a reflection, a refining process over the past few months, really honing in on that over the past few weeks. So I decided to step back from writing my blog and posting as much as I normally do on Instagram and then making YouTube videos. I just decided to take a break from that to really focus in on what the Lord wanted me to share, to use my content for, to use the platform for that He has given me. So now moving forward, I really want to use the content that I produce to be pleasing to the Lord. Everything that I put out, I want it to be a pleasing aroma to Him. I want it to be that perfume, that oil that anoints His feet, that anything that I do is a worship to Him. Also, if you're hearing noises and if the camera starts moving, Riley is crawling around on the ground, but I'm just going to be rolling with it because I have a moment to film. So as I said, I've been going through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of reflection and refining. There have been a lot of attacks from the enemy I have seen in my family, seen in my own self. And in this season, I'm just really striving for doing all for the Lord, and that can be really hard in the season of life that I'm in. I have two little boys. One is almost 2 years old and the other is about 6 months, and it can be very hard on most days. It is hard to keep up appearance, to have that heart of patience and grace and just portraying the Lord's Spirit when times get hard. I'm just talking about tiring days where there is just so much involved with tantrums and messes and sicknesses. I don't know. All of it just kind of gets overwhelming sometimes. And if you're a mother or even a wife, you know that. But I have really started asking myself some questions. I'm going to be sharing those in a minute with you. But I just started asking myself questions throughout the day to really decide where my heart is at, where my mindset is at, and if I'm doing what I'm doing in every situation for the Lord or for myself. I hope this video is a little bit of an encouragement to you if you are in a similar season of life, if you are just feeling lost and stuck and trapped in the same mundane things. I feel that. I'm right there with you, and I still feel that way most every day. I have come to realize even in the mundane, we can still have a kingdom mindset. It's all about leaving the legacy that you want to leave, either for yourself or for the Lord. I'm just going to dive into that a little bit in this video. This is pretty much just like dipping your toes in the water in this conversation. So I may make some more videos in the future about this, but I just wanted to just kind of talk heart to heart with you about just life, the mundane life that all of us go through every single day, the ups and downs, and how we can still have a kingdom mindset for the Lord. So I started off by asking myself, what and who am I doing this for? And this meaning everything from the content I produce and put out on social media, on YouTube, on my blog, to the messes I'm cleaning up throughout the day, to the dishes I'm washing, just everything. Who and what am I doing it for? But that question led me to a few more questions, and that was, where was my mindset at? If I was cleaning up a mess, was I growing bitter and angry because I was the only one cleaning it up? Or I was growing angry because I was up at midnight washing dishes because we had a late night? Where was my mindset at? Was it kingdom focused or was it self focused? Which led me to another question, and that was, what kind of legacy am I wanting to leave? So in every situation, you have two choices. You can react with the Lord's Spirit or with your spirit, which is a spirit of selfishness. Most of the time, it's a spirit of anger and bitterness, depending on the situation. So I'm going to give you a few examples. These have happened in the past, and they are like really little examples, which are kind of useless when I start talking about it, but in the moment, it can really kind of frustrate me. But changing my mindset, reevaluating where my spirit is, where my heart is, has helped me in that now. You may be able to relate to a couple of these. If not, you can probably kind of relate it to something that you are dealing with or that you see come up every day in your household, in your family. But I just want to preface this in saying these are little things that should not really cause me frustration or cause me to get bitter. But on top of everything else, when you go through a really tiring day and there's that one little thing that kind of like ticks you off, this is some of those things which I just had to reevaluate where my mindset and heart was. So first example I was going to give was like my husband hanging up his towel. Sometimes he will, sometimes he won't. Sometimes he will hang it up and it won't be, you know, perfectly folded. I'm a very neat type A person and I like organization, things folded very nicely. Sometimes when you're in a hurry, you don't really do that. I kind of do it no matter what because that's the type of person I am. My husband is not. So I could choose to grow bitter at a towel that's not like properly hung up, or I could take those 5 seconds, 10 seconds out of my day to just hang it up for him, to hang it up correctly, whatever it is, instead of making that little tiny issue cause strife in our marriage, allowing that little tiny thing to allow the enemy to get his foot in the door. Yes, there will be some things that you need to have conflict over. There are things that you will need to discuss with your husband. But if there is something that tiny that causes such a big, huge argument in your marriage, I think that is more of a heart problem, a mindset problem. And instead of turning it around and just saying that you're going to have a servant's heart, that I will hang up his towel for him, that taking those 5-10 seconds out of my day to just fix it is going to save a lot of grief, heartache, bitterness, anger, that could be stretched out into a long thing when it's really not. Another thing is trying to control my kids more than I really need to. Things like my toddler touching something that really is not going to hurt him touching. It's just more of a self problem of me not wanting him to touch it. Or him breaking a pot is not that big of a deal, except if I am more concerned about the material things than I am for teaching him, for instructing him, for showing him that I love him more than a pot that he broke. Shifting that mindset to being, what kind of legacy am I leaving in this situation? I can get angry and blow up and like punish him for breaking a pot when he actually didn't mean to. It was just a mistake. And him remembering that, or I could leave the legacy of having God's spirit, for being forgiving and having patience towards him, showing him grace in that instance. And the same thing goes for the content I'm putting out, like putting out useless content about my kids or just things that I'm doing throughout the day. No, that is not bad, and I know people love to see that. I love to see that, but really refining what I am putting out content-wise has really helped me over the past few months, helped me with my family dynamic as well. So just using the mindset of everything that I do to be for the Lord, to be for the kingdom, has really, has really changed my heart over the past few months. And I know a lot of people would be saying, oh my goodness, you are going way too much into this. Everything you do does not need to be for the Lord. But why not? What else is it going to be for? If you say you are a Christian, if you are a believer in the Father, what else is there to do on this earth? Anything that you are striving for, that you are going after, that you are obsessing after, is it really necessary? Is it doing something that is for the kingdom? So right now, the way I'm thinking is, yeah, full force into everything for the kingdom. No, that does not mean I'm buying diapers for the kingdom or watching a certain movie for the kingdom. There are things that you are going to do throughout your day, throughout each week, that are just things that you have to do. But in the big picture, yes, it is for the kingdom. You can choose to watch a movie that is uplifting, that maybe does have a good message, or you could choose to watch one that is R-rated, that is full of a lot of things that your mind does not need to be viewing. The same thing for buying diapers with the example I just gave. I'm doing that because I am needing to use it for my boys. It is part of raising them right now, and that is the season and place that I am at. So if you want to think of it that way, yes, everything that you do should be for the kingdom, should be for the Lord. I wrote a blog post about this this week. I will leave it linked below. That goes into just some more questions that you can ask yourself, that you can go over and really kind of refine your own heart to see where your mindset is at each and every day, if it's self-focused or if it's kingdom-focused. So I'll have that linked below if you want to check that out. I feel like I could go on about this even more, but again, this is just dipping your toes in the water to the subject. I'll probably make more videos on this in the future. If you have any certain questions or views on this topic, please leave them in the comments below. I would love to chat there with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this has encouraged you to change your mindset and your heart to live for the kingdom, even in the everyday mundane things that goes on in your life. I will see you in my next video. Bye.